Avoid these mistakes while applying for the UK visit visa, either a tourist visa or a business visit visa. Number one, on top of that list is you do not inject all of the amount at once. When you do that, means that your purpose is not right. The immigration officer, Home Office, they will object that and they will refuse your case. One thing. Number two, proper documents. You have to know what you are doing. If you're going to go just a sightseeing as a tourist, of course, you have to mention that reason with the proper documents. Number three, if you are an employee, you have to have NOC from your company mentioning that I would be coming back from the UK to join the company. Number four, you have to do the math properly. Let's suppose you're applying from United Arab Emirates and you're getting a salary of 10,000 dirhams, which is roughly the amount is like for any Asian people, I would say that. Not to mention any country, but this is it. This is the thing which is going on. So 10,000 dirhams. So you will do the math as like, my room rent is how much? Either you have your own room, specific, separate, or you are sharing with someone else. You have to have that math done. Your grocery expenses, your hotel, restaurant expenses per month, do that. If you have dependents back in your country, you have to do the math that as well. Means if you're sending them an amount from that 10,000 dirhams. So now what is it? This is how you do the math. Your room expenses, restaurant, dependents, your own expenses, phone expenses. So if you have all of that expenses deducted from your salary and the rest of the amount, which is the net amount, is going to be 1,000 dirhams or 2,000 dirhams, means that's not sufficient. And the immigration officer would never look at a positive perspective. Why? Because how come out of that 2,000 dirhams you can save 20,000 or 35,000 or 30,000 unless you have a side business or a freelance work? When you do that, you have to mention those documents. So math, documents, reasoning, NOC, all of that things are connected. So when you do provide that details properly, they will never refuse your visa. Because they have this category, they have this visit visa, because they announced it for the purpose of people to bring, or should I say, to come to the UK, take their time, invest their money, and come back, obviously, to their own countries. They will never refuse your case if it's going to be a proper documented, mentioning every single detail. If you are married, mention that you are married and your family is living there. You have to mention that as well, because later, let's suppose right now you're married, you mention that you are single. You got the visa, but after a year or 2 years' time, you apply once again and you mention that I have a family. Meaning that's a mismatch information. A year before, you mentioned that you had no family, but now you have a family all of a sudden. That's misinformation, deception, which is not okay, and that's why they will refuse your visa. So be very careful. I've seen many clients of mine, for that matter, they say that we have been refused by the UK government, they are arrogant, they are this and that. No, it's not. Not even a single country is going to be arrogant, or they are arrogant. If you fulfill the condition, you're fine. They're not crazy to not give you the visa, but you have to be very, very much confident about your documents and no deception, no misinformation, then you will get the visa. So avoid these mistakes, which I explained in detail. They look into the small, tiny details. If you don't come up with a solution to that, of course, you're gone. If you want to know more how to do it, approach me, like, share, and subscribe.